Hi everyone, I'm Jeremiah. Uh, I'd like to talk to you about a project I've been working on for the past year or so. So far, about 150 of you have watched the animations that I've done on a hydrogen atom. I did a 2D version and a 3D version. Apparently, you guys seem to like the 3D version better. It kind of bums me out a bit because the one that has the least amount of views has the description on how it works. So I was hoping people might check that out. But I'm gonna do a modified 3D version that has that description with it so people can enjoy it either way. Um, as you can tell, I'm an animator. I'm not a scientist. Let's be clear about that. I'm not at all. But what I am is a very creative thinker, and I'm an expert in my field. I don't toot my own horn or act arrogant about my capabilities. I'm pretty good at what I do. That I know that there are plenty that are far better than me, and I tip my hat to those gentlemen because it takes a lot to be really good. A lot of hard practice and dedication. So why is it then that I'm doing all of these animations on the atom and on quantum physics? Well, a lot of credit and a big shout out needs to go to a bunch of the science channels on YouTube, and I'm going to do that at some point. Bit by bit, I'm going to shout them all out. One of the videos that really nailed it for me was a video that I'm going to link below by a channel called PBS Space Time. Shout out to Matt. You do great content, brother, and I really enjoyed it, and it helped me a lot with what I'm working on. The thing is, in the thumbnail there, you'll see a cube with what looks like belts or ribbons hanging off of all of the sides. That animation shows a motion that I recognized. So it got me really interested in the stuff. And now I'm just a regular guy. I don't think I'm any kind of super genius as far as I know. I don't uh, feel like I'm that at all. I just am a guy that draws well and makes cartoons, and I work at a hotel, third shift. So that's what I do. I make like no money at all, and I'm happy. But after watching the PBS Space Time videos, one day I'm watching YouTube and this random video pops up from this person. I don't think they've ever showed up on my channel again. And I don't even know if I remember. I think I have it saved. And if I do, I'll show all you guys. But it was a video that talked about this book. And something told me I should check it out. Um, so I did. It's called The Animate and the Inanimate by a guy named William James Sidis. He's a guy I look up to quite a bit. But this book right here was the other piece to the puzzle. There's a principle in, well, it's a design philosophy, I suppose you would say. It's present in all forms of art and engineering. The actual saying is KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. It's generally agreed upon that when you are forming something, especially in those early stages, it's very important to KISS or keep it simple, stupid. You make sure that you work with the least amount so you can keep it the best organized and so that you can keep track of everything, where everything's moving, how everything's behaving. When I got into quantum physics, one of the things that had occurred to me is that it was incredibly overcomplicated. They seemed to be adding more things, which seemed very contrary to the concept of a quantum physics. Because you're talking about not only the smallest thing, you're talking about the least thing, the least amount of thing. So you would have to have the most basic setup ever. What's most basic? What is the least amount of stuff? Well, the most abundant thing in the entire universe appears to be hydrogen as far as physical matter is concerned. It takes up a large portion of the amount of atoms that exist in our universe. So, perhaps that is, if not the one of the base components. But it has a minimal amount of components. That's what makes it simple. Armed with that idea that it was simple and that it should only take a handful of components, I set out to see what components were necessary in all atoms for them to function. And obviously, we have the three quarks and the electron, and that is what is present in the hydrogen atom. I also had suspicions about helium, and I messed with that a little bit along the way, but hydrogen is really the key basic basis of the whole shebang. The same idea I had about it being simple, about it having the least amount of components. If we take that and look at the motion, what's the key motion? Well, that's the motion that I noticed in those PBS space time videos. I'm really good at using my mind's eye to just move things around in my head. Animators oftentimes have an ability real similar to like a baseball player or something like that, how they can kind of predict where the ball's going to go first before they catch it. Or a boxer can predict a punch and where it's going to land or where it's going to go for them to be able to, duck out of the way and stuff. Same thing, except for animators can kind of do it in both directions chronologically. So we can kind of predict where something's going to go in the future as well as where something has been in the past. Just instinctively, because we sit there and do that all day long. Like we set up paths of things. We set up keys where we want this guy to start here and then to go here. So when I saw those animations in the PBS space-time, I could see in my mind's eye predictively where that stuff would go if it was all connected together. Then I had to go about the project of making what I saw up here happen on the screen. And that is what you saw in those videos. If I can make it happen, okay. Let's see if I can make it happen. I'm going to try to put a image or a video of bing. Did we make it happen? I don't know. My spinning atom. That way when I talk about it the whole time, you guys can see it up there and everything. How's that? So, I started watching more and more physics videos on YouTube. Started watching Sabina Hassenfelder. Started watching Arvin Ash. I watched Anton Petrov. And I got to see some interesting stuff from Eric Weinstein. I still don't know about that gentleman very much. I just saw him on the Joe Rogan podcast, and that's where I got a trick that I'm actually about to show you right now. The Dirac equation is the basic movement that all things have. It's the thing that all things are built on. And what is the Dirac equation? Well, like I said, Eric Weinstein on the Joe Rogan podcast did an example of it. I didn't know that it was called this, but he called it the Filipino wine glass trick. But it comes from another trick called the direct belt trick. So if you have time, go ahead and look that up and try it out for yourself. It's really an amazing thing. How do you do that trick? What the whole purpose of the trick is to spin the glass around. You got to spin it all the way around and be able to take a sip out of it. You couldn't do that like that. So, the way the trick goes is when you go up underneath, you flip around up on top like that, and it comes back around all the way. It makes it so that my arm doesn't get twisted up when I do it. If we take a proton and we reverse that movement, the Dirac equation, the Dirac movement, we'll call it, and you reverse the polarities of the quarks that are inside, that is a neutron. And those things sync up when you put them together, which I will show in my other videos. You're going to get to see helium, and man, it's fun stuff. I'm just a guy that noticed something one time that I thought would be very important. And I wanted to share it with everybody. I've taken this rabbit hole down super far. I have a lot of stuff to show you guys, a lot of proof, as it were. And I'm excited to show everybody. The thing that's important to note are the implications of such a thing. A lot of average people might not really know what such a discovery would lead to. But we're literally talking about the stuff everything's made of, how everything sticks together. Who knows what the heck you could do with that sort of stuff? You could heal or you could hurt. I'm just an animator. I don't think I'm super smart. I'm not trying to step on any scientist toes or nothing like that. You know, I just noticed something when I watched a physics video and I figured I'd share it with people. And when I tried to do that, nobody knew what I was talking about, so I said, to heck with it, I'll animate it and then I'll show you. And so here we are. I animated it and now I'm showing you guys. I have more to show and more to explain. And I hope you guys stick around to see the rest. I hope these videos do well, and I hope you guys like my content. I'm not doing it for any other reason than that. It's all for you guys. And I hope it helps you. Hope to see you guys again real soon. You take care.